Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another race here on the VB Thomas platform. Today, we're going to be having another race in King of Leagues. It's the second race of the Saturday pool, with plenty of leagues once again battling for the title here in Season 6. We've got XR Racing League currently in pole position, not necessarily pole position in the race, but on pole position in the Constructors' Championship, with quite a lot of points ahead. And we have some other teams there as well, as I might want to take the standings with me real quick. So we've got XR Racing League in P2, then we've got Grand Prix Racing in XR is in P1, Grand Prix Racing in P2, with a deficit of about 14 points. So hopefully they're going to be scoring a decent amount of points today with Wildstorm and Adonis. Overtake Racing League is in P3, Red Arrows Racing in P4, and then we've got Intercontinental Racing in P5. Further, we've got a V3 F1, PGS F1, XL Racing League, Virtual Racing Academy something league, and then Formula Serdacio Racing all the way at the bottom of the grid. So hopefully the guys are going to keep it clean, unlike last week, which was quite of a disaster every now and then. But overall, it was a pretty decent race. The guys managed to have a good race. We saw a little incident between the Overtake Racing League and Adonis. Hopefully that's not going to be happening today either, as I'm quickly going to switch over to the game screen, obviously. And we're going to be ready for a good race here in King of Leagues. I cannot be too excited or too loud, as my little nephew is currently sleeping already. So I gotta be a little more careful with my voice today, as Kevin Zuneberg, currently racing for XR Racing League, they're going to be running a bright yellow livery, which is obviously going to be the same colors as King of Leagues. You might not know that King of Leagues is kind of partnering with XR Racing League. Rolly, the owner and founder of XR Racing League, is working together with us so we can create a good environment for you guys. Make sure to check them out as well, as he sorts out all the graphics as well, together with Anand, who's currently in the lobby for the standings, the information, screens, graphics, everything. So yeah, a little shout out to those guys. They've really helped me well here in Season 6, and hopefully we're gonna even have a better Season 7 coming up ahead. Kevin Zuneberg currently trying to heat up those tires. He's gone on to the soft tires, if I'm not mistaken, or did he choose to go on to the medium tires? It is the medium tires indeed. So let's see what kind of laps he can pull out of these medium tires real quick. Coming down the straight, let's do a quick track analysis, and let's see how he's gonna do. DRS wide open for Kevin Zuneberg, and this is probably gonna be the best overtaking opportunity here around Monza. There is a car down the inside into turn 1, hard braking zone, a little chicane, touching the curb on the inside, goes a little bit too deep out of turn 2, might have costed him a couple of tenths there. And then we've got that long right-hander where a couple of guys might be able to benefit from ERS using coming through this long right-hander. Then heading into turn 4 and 5, another chicane. You want to watch out for the curb on the inside in turn 5, and this is exactly what Kevin Zuneberg is not doing. He's not avoiding that curb at all. We get to turn 6, long right-hander, turn 7, long right-hander as well. Well, fast long-hander, that doesn't even make sense. Fast right-hander, obviously. And then we've got another DRS opportunity. So 2 DRS opportunities here in Monza. And then we've got another long straight coming out of Ascari. Very fast right-hander, another very fast left-hander. We are most definitely going to see someone crash in that section. Hopefully it isn't going to be someone at the... Well, it doesn't even matter. Hopefully it's not going to be anyone. But yeah, hopefully it's not going to be someone who's battling for the lead of the race. As I can't even see some names. This is lovely. I don't even know who is on pole. This is crazy. All right. I'm just gonna have to use the league colors, I guess. My apologies, lads. I can't even figure it out. It's Overtake Racing League driver Mash now getting in pole position with a 118.4. This has nothing to do with my Wi-Fi, by the way. This has everything to do with EA, as we also started the race 10 minutes later because of inviting issues. We had some connection issues because of the game, so hopefully EA is going to fix their servers pretty soon. As you can see, I cannot see a lot of names as well. Yeah, everyone is basically... I think everyone who is on PC is giving troubles, except for Click. He's the only one who's not giving any troubles. But obviously it's not his fault. As both Overtake Racing League drivers currently on pole position. And we've got Kevin Zuneberg in P3, Soggy Biscuit in P4. Let me just think about who this is. Might be either the Fizz or Shaza. And another driver coming across the line. It's going to be Wildstorm for Grand Prix Racing. As he comes down the straight, another driver coming out of the pit lane. As Mini Waffle currently on the fast one. It is traffic here in Sector 3, heading into Sector 3. As Mini Waffles decides to go for an inside line there. Might wanted to leave some room for the guys behind him. And I think that is Fristroyer still on a fast one at the moment. Although, no, doesn't seem like it. 1 minute 30. That is obviously not going to be a fast one. Click on a fast one as he's coming around the last corner. What time will it be for the Axel Racing League driver? P6 right now. And a great time for Click. Hopefully he'll be able to improve on that one as well. The other XR Racing League driver coming down the line as well. That will be Spectre, if I'm not mistaken. Who unfortunately had a little issue with the invite system as well. Very surreal currently on an outlap. And we might want to go on board with the Canadian driver. Well, at least I think he's a Canadian. Well, I don't even know. He speaks French. The French-speaking something human. Down the straight he goes. As he's going to be racing for Vrai Esports Racing League F1, something like that. It's French, so I'm not 100% sure how they pronounce it. Well, I do, but I'm not sure how the league is called. So my apologies. I'm gonna Google that for you guys. I'm gonna Google that for you. Let me just double check here. So the league is called. It's a very important league. Vrai League Esports is what they told me, and what their league is called as well. So. Cyril is entering Sector 2 as we speak. Fastest first sector. Might be a glitch in the game there as he takes that fast right-hander Parabolica. Is that Parabolica? I think it is. Parabolica 1 and Parabolica 2. Really wide. Might have lost a bit of time coming through there. It's coming through Ascari now. Wants to cut the corner as much as possible. Beautiful line there from Cyril. Not to touch the corner too much in turn 10, if I'm not mistaken. And then we've got turn 11 here around Monza. Let's see how he's going to do. Did he get a little tow from his very own teammate? His teammate will be... Is it Grogudu in P8? I think it is. They have the same color of livery. Cyril puts himself in P15 with a 124.4. He's going to go on another one as he saved a lot of battery. Didn't seem like he had a really fast one there. Another driver coming across the line. That's going to be... Let me double check what color the livery is. It's a purple one, so that's probably going to be PGS F1. And it'll either be Shaza or the Fizz. Both drivers I can't see, unfortunately. So another driver here at the bottom of the grid. Still hasn't come out of the pit lane. Oh no, the second driver is in P11 at the moment. So PGS F1 doing better than they did last week. Obviously with Shaza, who was there as well last week. And the Fizz being a good addition for PGS F1. As Cyril is now coming down the straight. The air is wide open for the Vrai League Esports driver. League 1, if I'm not mistaken. I think the league was called League 1, but I could be wrong. Is anyone else on the bottom of the grid on a fast one? Seems like the Overtake Racing League driver is on a fast one at the moment. As he comes into that fast right-hander. You want to watch out. Don't turn into too fast. And coming down the straight now, will it be pole time? Seems like it will be pole time at 118.2. Good lap by the Overtake Racing League drivers. We still have plenty of guys to come across the line. Kevin Zuneberg, who obviously did his lap on the medium tires. Has he gone for soft tires this time around? Seems like he did. And putting himself in P3 so far. 118.8 and a good lap from the XR Racing League driver. We also have Spectre, who is... put his lap on, well, on the soft tires apparently. Mini Waffle. not on a fast one. Cyril Presidente now going for another one. He's got a lot of batteries saved. Onto the curb he goes. Might have lost a bit of time there. Took a little bit too much curb. Made his car turn very awkwardly into that corner. And now he can drain all of the ERS he's got. But preferably you want to use the ERS coming down that long straight after Ascari. Because that is where you're going to gain the most time. Most obviously with a lot of straight line speed. And now we're going into Parabolica 1. The face cam is gone, Lende. It's not here. This is a professional stream, so I'm not going to be putting my face in screen when nobody wants to see my screen, obviously. El Presidente coming down the straight. DRS wide open for the Formula Sertasio Racing League driver. As he's going to be paired with a Monster tonight, although I can't see Monster either, so I would assume he's all the way in P20. Although they're running a... No, they're not running a yellow livery, so I think that must be someone else. El Presidente coming around the last corner. Oh, a little curb taken there on the inside. Might have lost a bit of time. There's another driver now coming into the pits. That's a red livery. And El Presidente does improve on his time. And 120.9 is the best he could pull out. And it will be good for the P16. Roland coming into Sector 2 as we speak. He's got a little bit of traffic up ahead as Roland is racing for... Is he racing for Vini Vici? I think he might be. And then we've got Geldy obviously as well. Unsure where Geldy is at the moment because I can't see him on my screen. And I guess we'll have to look at that later on. This Roland now coming down the straight. ERS will be drained. Oh, Parabolica is the last corner. Thank you very much. Apparently it's Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2. Thank you very much for the information. As Roland coming around the last corner. And that is going to be Parabolica. And it will be a P15 with a 120.3. Not a bad lap at all by Roland. As you might want to go on board with Spectre, who's racing for EXA Racing League. EXA has some big points to defend here. They're currently in P1, but even if they finish P8 and P4 and Overtake Racing League finishes P1 and P2, I think they might be having a good chance of climbing up to the front of the pack there, Overtake Racing League. Spectre is still on the fast one. He's coming through Ascari as we speak. 3/10 up on his time. That will put him somewhere around the top 5. BP in the room who managed to get into the top 5. Wildstorm in P6 at the moment. There's a lot of guys there down the inside trying to leave space for Spectre to get past. And I'm pretty sure that Spectre had gained a lot of time through Sector 3. It looked very fast. And will he be putting himself on pole? It might be looking like that. No, it will not be pole. It will be good for a P2. Only 400ths away from the Overtake Racing League driver. So we'll look on board here with a driver who has invalidated. Comes back into the pits. Oh, this driver was 5/10 up. As Bo now coming back into the pits. He's going to be paired up with... Is it going to be with Roland? No, it's not going to be with Roland. It's with another... Oh, it's with Soggy Biscuit. Soggy Biscuit racing for Red Arrows Racing. As Rogue do wait, what car is that? Is that Cyril's car? I think it is Cyril's car. Well, let's go on board with Kevin as he's going on another one. He's got a lot of batteries saved, so hopefully he'll be able to pull something out. You know, you've got this little rabbit coming out of a hat. This might be something that Kevin has to pull out of his hat. A little white bunny to put himself on pole. His very own teammate only got a P2. Still plenty of time to come back out and put another time on the board. But let's see whether Kevin is going to do it in one shot. Coming through Lesmo 2 at the moment. A lot of curb taken there on the inside. Usually I would take it as well, but I feel like every now and then it's just a little bit faster not taking the curb on the inside. As he's got the fastest second sector as well, 1/10 up on his time. That's only going to be good for a P4, but we saw that Spectre gained a lot of time in sector 3 as well. And now a little toe from Spectre coming down the straight, goes back down the inside. Kevin gets past. And as we go through a Parabolica, how much time did he gain with that little toe? Down the straight we go. And it will be a P3. Just in the middle of both Overtake Racing League drivers. As Mash Krishnik currently up on his time. Oh, not by too much. Oh, and he invalidated. Almost lost the car there coming through Ascari. And he's going to have to go for another one. And I'm afraid he's going to have to come into the pits, put on some new tires, because he doesn't have much ERS saved. So he cannot go for another one. And even if he goes for another one right now, I'm afraid that his tires will be gone before he has to do another fast lap. Soggy Biscuit retired from the session, currently in P13. As Mash Krishnik has to come back into the pits. Let's go on board with this driver. It's either Shaza or the Fizz, as they're coming around the last corner. Will he be up on his very own time at 119.1? No, comes back into the pits. What is the other PGS F1 driver doing? Not much, because he invalidated his lap, but he's going to go for another one. Doesn't necessarily have much time left to come back into the pits, and he's got enough batteries saved, so hopefully he can pull out a good lap here in his probably last qualifying lap. P15 is definitely not a position you want to be in, especially around Monza. You want to be somewhere in at the front of the pack or at the back of the pack, and not in the middle of everyone, because there is going to be chaos. Hopefully not too much, and hopefully the guys are going to be having a sensible race, but every now and then there is that one driver who's going to ruin it for everyone, like we saw Bottas do in Hungary a couple of years ago. But it seems like this is a pretty decent lap from either Sasa or the Fizz. And coming down the straight now, DRS wide open, still a lot of battery saved. Oh, he loses a bit of time there, going onto the curb too aggressively, and now he's going to save another bit of battery to go out for another one. Grogudu up on his time, although still having to come into sector 2. Will he be up on his time? Seems like it. 2:10 so far. And that's a pretty good job from Grogudu, as that will put him in the top 10, pushing down the Axel Racing League drivers. But let's see how much more time he can gain here in sector 2 and sector 3. And sector 3 is definitely the sector where you want to gain the most time. Because of Ascari, you need to take that line as well as possible. Then also drain a lot of batteries so you can drain, save a lot of batteries so you can drain everything coming down the straight. Kevin apparently already retired from the session. A P3 is the best he could do. As Grogudu now coming down the straight, there's a driver weaving all over the place. Hopefully he's going to leave enough space for Grogudu to get past. This might be a little on the edge here for the driver ahead of him. As a little toad, and that's going to do well for Grogudu. Gains about 3/10.5, putting himself in P9 for now. But did he gain a dirty air because of that coming through Parabolica? He might have. Mash Krishnik, as also Spectre apparently has retired from the session, so it's also almost a certainty that Mr. Overtake Racing League driver is going to be on pole position. Although there is another driver from GPR, that's probably going to be Adonis on a fast one as we speak. How much time is he gaining entering sector 3? It should be a lot. Toes are allowed? Yes, they are. And then Roland retired from the session, as here comes Adonis. I didn't quite see how much time he was gaining. As the RAR Racing League drivers are also on a fast one as we speak, although it's only one driver. That's going to be Bo. What is Adonis going to do? Is he going to put himself on pole position? He needs to, well, improve by about 5/10. I'm afraid that's not going to happen. But it will be half a 10, putting himself in a stronger position, but no positions gained, unfortunately, for the Grand Prix Racing League driver. But he's got a lot of pace in the race. We saw that last week. Hopefully this time around he's not going to take out a Overtake Racing League driver, as BP in the room does not improve in his time. Grogudu coming back into the pits. Click has invalidated on his time. Only the guys here at the back of the pack could still improve. Mash Krishnik putting himself on pole, and it's going to be Overtake Racing League P1 and P2. And what a qualifying from the both of them, and hopefully they're going to be able to score a decent amount of points. We saw what was his name again? something with an A, if I'm not mistaken. The second Overtake Racing League driver crashed out by Adonis last week. And that kind of screwed their points. And they're going to be having a big gap to XR Racing League, as this will be the qualifying here around Monza. We will be preparing ourselves for a race around Monza. Hopefully not too chaotic. And there will be no formation lap. So make sure you know that there's not going to be a formation lap. Please make sure that you know there is not going to be a formation lap. Don't crash anybody out. This is all I can ask for. Just don't crash anybody out in turn 1. You know, this is the only dream I have. The rest of the race, you can do whatever you want. Well, that is... Don't take that too hard, but... You know what I mean. Yeah. So here we've got the results of the qualifying. Mash Krishnik in P1 with a gap of about 2/10 to his very own teammate. And then we've got a Spectre in P3, Kevin in P4, and Adonis in P5. Further, we've got BP in the room, Wildstorm, another driver who I don't know the name of, Rugudu, a Mini Waffle, Tristroyer, Click, Bo, Soggy Biscuit. Then these guys. Sorry, I literally can't see the names, so I have no idea. And we've got Roland, El Presidente, and Vre Cyril. Sorry, lads. I'm just, in the meanwhile, I'm trying to sort things in the league. People have got some questions, such as, can we give toes? Something like that. Stream quality, safe race, blah, 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 blah. Doesn't matter. Oh, okay. And then I'll go through the grid real quick with you, so we kind of know who's on the grid. So for Red Arrows Racing, we've got Soggy Biscuit and Bo. Vini Vidi Vici is Roland and Geldy. So Geldy is probably racing in a yellow swordish livery. Intercontinental Racing, obviously, with Destroyer. And then we've got Marcus, who we haven't put on screen. My apologies, Marcus. I can't see your name on the screen, so my apologies for that. Free League Esport is represented by Cyril, who is the owner, together with Grogudu. We've got PGS F1 Esports, The Fist, and Shaza. XR Racing League, we saw them a couple of times already today. Spectre and Kevin Zuneberg. Overtake Racing League is Jernesh and Mash Krishnik. Now we've got Grand Prix Racing represented by Adonis and Wildstorm. XR Racing League is represented by Shaquille O'Neal, whose in-game name is The Click, and Mini Waffle, who we cannot see on screen, unfortunately. Formula Certacio Racing is represented by El Presidente and Master Build GG. Alright, so apparently his name is Tim Tornimo, so I'm gonna try and call him Tim Tornimo. It's the XR Racing League. He prefers to be called Tim instead of Spectre, so I'll try to think about that. Tim, my apologies, man. It's just, you know, in Belgium we have a saying, and it goes like, it's the art of het beestje. It's, how do you explain that in English? It's het aard of het beestje, van het beestje. It's the earth of the animal? Doesn't even make sense. No. If you're ready to go, guys, you can press ready up. Thank you very much for waiting anyway. But we don't do that here in King of Leagues. Everyone trying to set the right setup, trying to set the right strategy. From my experience from the last 3 races, we've only seen medium hards, hard mediums. So hopefully they're going to be working here as well in Monza. Although I used to remember that going onto the soft tires could potentially work for the drivers. So let's see if anyone is going to try and do that. As the timer is going off, that means we're going to be ready to race. Hopefully no crashes into turn 1. And hopefully you guys are going to be having an excellent night tonight. Here we go. 5 red lights. It's pedal to the metal for the guys in King of Leagues. With Mash Krishnik on pole position. We've got his very own teammate right behind him, who's not going to go for a move down the inside. Maybe one of the XI Racing League drivers is going to go for it. Is anyone crashing anyone out? Doesn't seem like it. Oh, and somebody is going way deeper, and we are seeing a crash there. That was either Click or the other Axel Racing League driver who completely missed the braking point, went onto the grass trying to avoid everyone, but unfortunately it didn't happen. El Presidente bumped up to P11, gained a lot of positions there in turn one. Might have been him as he goes for a move down the inside, backs out of it again. Fristroyer now with a move on a Click as he's getting overtaken again. Bo driver's going off track as that's Grogu now. Grogudu making an overtake on Fristroyer as well, so you might want to go back on board. Oh, and Wildstorm dropped back 12 positions. This is not a great race for the Grand Prix Racing League driver, as they're currently P2 in the Constructors Championship, so they do need the big amount of points. BP in the room, if I'm not mistaken, that's Marcus, who is kind of losing the toe there a little bit of Kevin Zuneberg, and this is once again going to be a Overtake Racing League versus EXA Racing League story. Let's see what oh man, I don't even know these names. Is that Adonis? I think it is Adonis. Going down the straight goes Jernish or something like that with a move, as they do form a little bit of a wall there for the EXA Racing League driver. Oh, and he gets punted in the rear. It might be a little record for the EXA Racing League driver Tim Tornimo. Kind of missed his braking point. Maybe Jernesh went a little bit too early on the brakes, but you kind of have to anticipate on that if you're a Racing League driver. Adonis now not necessarily looking for an overtake. He's going to have to wait for BP in the room to make a mistake. Coming through the chicane they go, as they're really close to each other. Plenty of guys within DRS range, as BP in the room now getting overtaken by Marcus. Adonis, my apologies. BP in the room is Marcus. And then we have got either the Fizz or Shaza, the PGS F1 esports drivers, still hanging on tight. Mini Waffle trying to hold up as well, as many of the guys are within DRS. We've got a DRS train all the way from P1 to P10 at the moment. Bo losing the toe there, might have caught in an incident. Oh, and drivers are crashing out. Look at that at the back of the grid. And if I'm not mistaken, that might have been the Formula Certasio Racing League driver. Here comes Spectre with a move around the outside. A late move by Mash Krishnik, as the XI Racing League driver gets pushed wide. This is not necessarily clean racing from the guys here in turn one. Jernesh pushed him a little bit wider there, lets through his very own teammate. The blue cars are currently dominating, and XI Racing Leagues can seem to find their way around these two. But it's quite hard when you get pushed when you get pushed on the grass. Soggy Biscuit looking for a good overtake as well, as he seems to be ghosted at the moment. On the tail of Mini Waffle, as they come down the straight, DRS wide open for Soggy Biscuit. Let's go on board with one of the Overtake Racing League drivers, Jernish. Coming down the straight they go. Is this going to be an opportunity for Exa? Doesn't seem like it. Maybe here BP in the room on the tail of Marcus. No, it's Adonis. And now we've got a DRS train right behind Bo as well. Click trying to stay within that 1 second of the Red Arrows Racing League driver. Here we go, BP in the room, right up that ass of Adonis. And you can see Mash Krishnik once again forming a wall there for the XI Racing League team. And that was a late move as well by Overtake Racing League, and it seemed like Tim Tornimo had to go onto the grass again. Now side by side with the Overtake Racing League driver, Jernish has to let him go through. And that's going to be a first victim of Tim Tornimo, as Jernish seems to be making a move down the inside. A little wheel banging there again between the both of them, as it seems like Tim Tornimo had an excellent exit coming out of the chicane. And now he's up into P2. 7-10 gap to Mash Krishnik at the moment, so he's going to have the DRS. So it's going to be a little difficult staying away from Jernish here, coming down a straight. Slipstream for Jernish. He's gonna try and make a move down the inside. Is he gonna make it stick? Yes, indeed. A lot of straight line speed there for the Slovenian driver, as we still have a DRS train all the way from P1 to P10. Although it seems to be broken off there by Soggy Biscuit. 1.1 seconds so far. As the Red Arrows Racing League driver still has to push hard to stay within that DRS. Is he going to have the DRS now? Seems to be about around that 1 second gap. And he's not going to get it, I'm afraid. Or is he? Down the straight we go. No, he doesn't have the DRS. Let's see what's happening here. Oh yeah, Tim Turnimo is going to be in the lead of the race with a move down the inside. And now he can try and run away. Oh, and it seems like Kevin Zunenberg lost his car there coming into turn 2. Now he's going to be struggling because he most likely won't have the DRS anymore. He's got Adonis and BP in the room right up his ass. As it seems like the PGS F1 Esports driver with a move down the inside on Mini Waffle. Let's go on board here with Mash Krishnik again. And the amount of battles that's happening between XR Racing League and Overtake Racing League is unseen. We haven't seen that many battles between two teams in the last couple of seasons, as Mash Krishnik doesn't necessarily have the straight line speed. Gives a little bump to Tim Turnimo as he pushes the XR Racing League driver a little bit wider. Not necessarily notable for Tim Turnimo, but still it could make his turn a little bit strange and maybe even pushed onto the curb, but that didn't happen, luckily. And let's see what Mush can do here coming down the straight. DRS wide open for the Slovenian driver, as he's going to try and make a lot of ERS usage out of this straight. And here he goes. DRS wide open. Is he going to go for a nice outside line? Yes, indeed he does. Is he going to make it stick? Apparently so, but Team Tornimo is not giving up. Gets pushed onto the curb, but doesn't lose his car. And this is some great racing between the both of them. At least there wasn't any contact between the both of them this time around, as BP in the room gets dropped back to P8. Let's see what PGS F1 can do. No DRS opportunities for the drivers yet, but that won't take long. We're already in lap 6 out of the 19 here in King of Leagues. It's race 2 next week. We've got another good race, and hopefully that is gonna be as exciting as this one. We've still got plenty of drivers having the opportunity to win this Grand Prix, although it does seem noticeable that either one of the Overtake Racing League or XR Racing League drivers is going to win this race. Nobody else, no other team has had the opportunity to get into the lead of the race. As it seems like it's Grugudu now with a 3-second time penalty. So you might want to go on board with a Jernesh here on the tail of Tim Turnimo. As Kevin Zunenberg not necessarily doing anything specifically to get past Jernish. And if Kevin Zunenberg makes that overtake on Jernish, they will be scoring the same amount of points. I mean, both teams, because it's 25 points for the winner of this Grand Prix, 23 for P2, 21 for P3, and then 19 for P4. So this is an exciting format, in my opinion. It really values the fact that teams can work together with each other rather than one driver trying to run away. A 10-second time penalty for Grugudu for speeding in the pit lane, as we didn't quite look at the tire strategies yet. Soggy Biscuit onto the soft tires. He started the race on the soft tires. Mini Waffled on the hard tires, currently in P7, as it doesn't seem like anyone in the chat is typing. Is the live stream still live? Please let me know. Oh, and this is some good battling here. Mash Krishnik defending the inside line. Thank you, Anand. Really appreciate it. And now Jernish gets past Tim Turnimo as well. Maybe this time around Kevin might want to go for a move. Here comes the PGS F1 Esports driver. And Adonis just has too much straight line speed. We're looking at a move from Tim Turnimo once again on Jernish. And the problem is that Mash Krishnik can just save his tires at this point. Jernish is basically wasting all of his tires here, battling with Tim Turnimo, and so is Tim Turnimo. You know, you can't really battle. Oh, look at that here. It seems like Mini Waffle is trying for a move. Oh yeah, and Tim Turnimo finding his way down the inside. And another tab there from the rear of King Zuneberg. BP in the room finding his way around Mini Waffle as both of them are currently losing the toe of PGSF1 there. Is that PGSF1? I think it is, isn't it? Oh, and a good exit there as well from the P5 racer. Oh no, P6, my apologies. P6, that's going to be PGSF1. There's going to be two PGSF1 drivers. Wait, this might be a mistake from my end. Do they have the same livery? Is it the same livery, the purple one? I think there is only one team with a purple livery. That's PGSF1, but their livery doesn't look the same, so they might get a penalty for that. Soggy Biscuit is racing for Red Arrows Racing. As they had a late pullout. That was Super Striker. Unfortunately enough. It is what it is, guys. So we've got a DRS straight still from P1 to P9. It was P10 earlier on, but I think somebody came into the pits. Might have been Grogudu. And Mash Grishny gets a 10-second time penalty. And everyone seems to be coming into the pits. Is there going to be a double stack? Let's hope not so. Let's hope not so. Is there going to be a double stack? Is there going to be a double stack? No double stack here at the front of the pack. Did anyone else get affected? No, because both XR Racing League drivers are still out on track. Kevin Zuneberg, who lost a decent amount of time there. 10-second time penalty for somebody. Apparently nobody's going to get it. It's a little minus sign who gets the penalty. El Presidente bumps up to P11 with still 8 lap-old hard tires. He had a decent start of the race, but dropped back many positions. Mash Krishnik and Zernish find themselves ahead of El Presidente, so that's good news. As, if I'm not mistaken, this is Adonis now making his overtake on El Presidente. He goes into the curb a little too aggressive, but El Presidente leaves enough room and keeps it sportsmanship-like. Oh, Kevin Zuneberg lost the car. He spun coming out of Ascari, and that is a very well-known mistake by many of the drivers. And we saw somebody do it earlier on. This might mean that the medium tires are done for, as BP in the room and Mini Waffle both found their way past Kevin Zuneberg. Some people's names are invisible because well, here's the thing. When I opened up EA and I wanted to send everyone an invite and I wanted to accept all the invites I received for friend requests, it told me that there were online service problems, and when in the lobby and I sent an invite to a couple of guys, well, all of them showed as blank. So the guys who showed as blank do have a name and they are racers. I just don't know who they are, and that's a little bit of an annoying thing there. Oh, thanks, Anand. That would be much a help. That would be great. Wait, let me just double check here. Thanks, Anand. Really appreciate it. Are you streaming? Oh, you are streaming. What a legend. Oh, that is amazing. Oh, yes. That is lovely. Haha, that is great. Thanks, Anand. I'm going to keep it right ahead of me. So here we've got Tim Turnimo currently in P6. Right behind him is Adonis and the Fizz, as the Fizz seems to be the first driver for a PGS F1 Esports. Right behind him is Blinding Echo, also racing for PGS F1 Esports. So they don't have the same livery, so this might be a penalty-worthy decision. If somebody wants to report that, feel free to do so. And let's go on board with Kevin Zuneberg, who drops back to P12. Went onto the hard tires, as well as Bo now finds his way into the lead of the pack. He started on those hard tires together with Click. And let's go through the grid real quick. At the bottom of the grid, we see Grogudu, Cyril, Masterbuild, Geldy, Frister, and Roland. And then we've got Wildstorm, who dropped back to P14. Unsure what happened there. Now Adonis making an overtake on Mini Waffle. There's a couple of lockups there heading into Sector 1. We saw that in screen earlier on, but hopefully nothing too noticeable for the drivers to really experience a bad race. And this overall seems like a pretty decent race. We haven't seen too many incidents yet. A couple of guys who lost their car coming into Ascari. A couple of guys, well, turn one was a little chaotic with a driver who crashed somebody else out, but they still had plenty of time to come back and battle with the rest of the grid. It seems like Jurnish and Mashkrishnik now being relieved a little bit, seeing that Kevin Zuneberg is currently in P10. He lost a lot of time there. Mini Waffle, who finds himself in P6 on the medium tires, so he should be a little bit faster as well. Who's the BP driver? The BP driver apparently is BP in the room is Marcus. He's racing for Grand Prix Racing. The fastest lap now goes to Jurnish for Overtake Racing League. Oh, and El Presidente gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane as well. He's potentially going to drop back to the last place of this Grand Prix. Mini Waffle on the tail of Adonis at the moment. And this is going to be some very important points for Axel Racing League. They didn't really do great last week, as if I'm not mistaken, they're in P8 at the moment. But obviously with a P6 or a P5, they're going to bump up a couple of positions here. Let me just double check for you guys. So Axel Racing League currently find themselves in P8. But SBGS F1 Esports is doing a good job as well. Wait, Intercontinental Racing. Marcus is racing for Intercontinental Racing. It's Wildstorm and Adonis who are racing for Grand Prix Racing. My apologies. So Fritzstar and BP in the room are racing for Intercontinental Racing. We're seeing a position switch here between Jurnish and Tim Tornimo. Here he goes down the inside. Oh yeah, and he makes a two-way overtake. Look at that. Are they going three wide? Seems like it. Jurnish has almost taken out his very own teammate. This has now the inside line. And what a move. What a defense. Maybe Mash Krishnik now with a good exit. Oh, a little late move there from Tim Tornimo. Is he going to go for a move down the inside? No, backs out of it. Mash Krishnik now with a move. No. As they're heading into turn 4 and 5. This is some good news for Overtake Racing League. Oh, Adonis going onto the curb too aggressively there. Might have caused Mini Waffle to lose a bit of time. Although he's still on the tail of Adonis at the moment. And who's that in P8? Let me just double check here. It is, well, both the Fizz and Shaza actually having a battle with each other. Is Mini Waffle going to go for it? No, backs out of it, heading into Ascari. Oh, and this is really a different livery there from PGS F1 Esports. Why would you go for or it all could be a tad cleaner? Room must be given at all times. Feel free to report, Rolly. We give anyone penalties who deserve to get penalties, so just go for it. We want to make this a clean environment. I do agree that some things are a little bit questionable, but still race worthy in my opinion. Oh, and they're going three wide. Oh, this is not a good idea. Oh, this is not a good idea, but they make it out alive. Look at that. Turn 2 is going to be a little more difficult, but they make it out alive anyway. Adonis, who left enough room for the guys to get past again. Wildstorm with a 10-second time penalty. What happened there for the Grand Prix Racing League driver? Here comes the Fizz. No, it's Blinding Echo with a move on Mini Waffle. Beautifully done by the PGS F1 Esports driver. As now Adonis will have his hands full in between. He's in between PGS F1 Esports sandwich. And that's not necessarily where you want to be in. But PGS F1, look at that. After a pretty disappointing result last week, they're really doing a great job trying to score a decent amount of points here tonight. Still 5 more laps to go as Bo is still in the lead of the race, but he's going to get overtaken pretty soon. He's going to have to come back into the pits. He's most likely going to switch on to the soft tires, or is he trying to have a battle with them still? Unsure why he's staying onto the hard tires for so long. He's going to have to switch on to the soft tires later on. Maybe he wants that extra point for the team, but then on the other hand, he might possibly lose a lot of positions. We're looking at a move here heading into turn 1. Adonis with a move around the outside, backs out of it, although it was the Fizz with a little lockup, or was that Blinding Echo? No, Blinding Echo aims in B5. It was indeed the Fizz with a little lockup, so he couldn't make an overtake on Adonis. As Mini Waffle is now patiently waiting. About 5 more laps to go for the XL Racing League driver. A little lockup there as well. Watch out, don't go in the back of the Fizz. Nice, we might want to have a look at the penalties as well. Mash Krishnik still has that 10-second die penalty. He's potentially going to drop back to B5, maybe even B6. Oh, and we're looking at a move from Jernish on the tail of Bo at the moment. Down straight we go. And Kevin on the run in the last 3 laps. He may catch these guys. I highly doubt that. Wait, he's in a battle with Click at the moment. No, that's BP in the room. Kevin might indeed try to get back to these guys, but it's still a question on whether he... Oh, Bo drops back to P4. He comes back into the pits, as Kevin indeed is trying to catch up to these lads. And now we've got a 4-way overtake. EU, who's going to make it out ahead? Seems like Blinding Echo has a pretty decent straight line speed, but the Adonis is going to make a move anyway. Back onto the racing line he goes. Mini Waffle with a move down the inside. He's making it stick. And this is some beautiful racing. Nobody is really pushing each other off track. And this is some really decent racing from these 4. And let's hope that Kevin is going to make it as clean as possible as well. Oh, a little wheel banging there between Mini Waffle and Blinding Echo. Mini Waffle now with a move down the inside. Defends the inside line. As Adonis is now running away. Adonis is now running away. He still has that 3-second time penalty he has to work with, but still could potentially lose about 3 seconds. We saw him do a good job last time in Brazil, unless he, I mean, until he took out the Overtake Racing League driver. But I'm not going to keep on mentioning that, you know. It is in the past and he got a penalty for it, so. Mini Waffle now down the straight. He's not going to gain any time. He will have the DRS later on, and if I'm not mistaken, a Blinding Echo doesn't. Destroyer now with a 3-second time penalty. He finds himself in P14 for... Oh, I'm going to have to think about that. Oh, Tim Tornimo with a move down the inside. Not much room given by Mash Krishnik to his very own teammate. Loses the car now as Jernish gets back into P2. Lap 17 out of the 19. Still about 3 more laps to go. Tim in the chat says Monza is my personal favorite track as it's always close. And it is indeed always close. And in my opinion, if you know how to race, the racing is clean as well. You know, we've seen Adonis, both the PGS F1 esports drivers, Mini Waffle have a battle with each other for so long, as BP in the room and Kevin Zoonberg are now trying to, well, get past these guys as well, but it doesn't seem as easy as it sounds. Let's have a quick check with the tires real quick. So there are a couple of guys on the medium tires at the moment. Click and Mini Waffle, both the XO Racing League drivers. Here comes BP in the room. He is representing Intercontinental Racing. And they have to score a decent amount of points as well, because Fristor are currently in P14, if I'm not mistaken. Down the straight they go, as the guys here at the front of the pack entering a lap 18 out of the 19. We're heading into the second to last lap. And who's going to make it out ahead? Seems like Jernish is going to try and make a move down the inside. No, backs out of it. A little wheel banging there as well. Once again, unsure why he would aggressively turn his wheel like that. From the left to the right, and then to the left again, and then to the right again, as Mini Waffle finds himself into the top 5. And potentially into the top 4, as Adonis is slowly crawling away, but that 3-second time penalty isn't simply gonna disappear. He needs to work for it. And it seems like he's not working hard enough for it. 1.7 seconds so far. Mini Waffle on under attack from both the PGS F1 esports drivers, the Shaza and the Fizz, obviously. As it seems like a Blinding Echo, which Shaza has a 3-second time penalty. Here at the middle of the pack, we're looking at a move between Soggy Biscuit and Wildstorm as well. Both drivers who do have a penalty. Kevin Zoonberg on the tail of Click. As Bo dropped back to P13 on the soft tires, so unsure whether he's going to be able to grab that fastest lap. Here comes BP in the room, was looking for a move around the outside, backed out of it again. Let's go on board with Tim Tornimo as we're heading into the last lap. Who's going to take... Oh, wait! Jernish got a 3-second time penalty as well. So this is basically a win for XR Racing League. Once again, Tim Tornimo, who kept it clean, who kept it consistent, didn't get a single penalty. As Kevin now... Oh, and the guys here have taken each other out. That's Click and a PGS F1 Esports driver. And now let's just wait and see who's going to make it out alive here out of the top 3. Mash Krishnik, nothing he could do, but he's going to get that 10-second time penalty anyway. He's losing a bit of time. Did he underfuel? No, probably not, but he's going to lose another position to Adonis, who's slowly catching up. And he's going to lose another position. Oh. Let's hope something didn't happen there, because that would be very unfortunate. I'm gonna be frustrated with that if something would happen. Oh yes, Click now with a move. He just went for a move down the inside there, hoping that it would still ghost. But what a way to... well, 10-second time penalty for Mash Krishnash. Apparently Jernish is gonna win this Grand Prix. Mash Krishnik drops back. Kevin still gets the P3. Look at that. A good consistent race from the XR Racing League driver, although he did crash himself out coming out of Ascari. He does bump up to P3. Rolly, do we have some information about what happened to Tim Tornimo there? Grugudu and Cyril managed to finish the race in P18 and P19. And then we have El Presidente in P20. BP in the room managed to get into the top 5. Great race from the Intercontinental Racing League driver, El Presidente, who gets that 3-second time penalty. Alright, so we're going to have a look at the results. And I'm going to look at Anand's screen. And my apologies for this bad stream, guys, but this is uncommentatable. This is just so bad. I can't even see the names. It is messing my head up, and it's just such a bad experience for me. So my apologies. It's probably a bad experience for you as well. I'm really trying my best here. It's just a little... yeah, a little annoying. Click gets driver of the day. He apparently had a bad qualifying and climbed up many positions. But in my opinion, it could go to Kevin as well. He really climbed up that ladder. As we've got the results here ahead of me. 1 second. I'm waiting for Anand's stream real quick. He's still looking at the podium. Come on, Anand. What are you waiting for, buddy? Here we go. So, the race win goes to Jernish after a very interesting final lap. Tim Tornimo, who either lost the car or got spun. Let's hope it's not the second one. The fastest lap also goes to Jernish. P2 goes to the Fisk. So congratulations to PGS F1 Esports. As Kevin gets into P3, Adonis in P4, and BP in the room in P5. Further, we've got Mush, Mini Waffle, Tim Tornimo, Click, Blinding Echo, Soggy Biscuit, Bo, Roland, Wildstorm. And then we're going to have to look at the bottom of the grid real quick. This will either... I think it will be Geldy, Fristor, Cyril, Rugu, El Presidente, and then in P20 we have got a master build. So that's going to be the results here of King of Leagues. Hopefully that incident between Tim Tornimo and either someone else or himself will be looked at. And all I can say is thank you very much. Thomas, don't say soggy biscuit, please. Why not? What is that? I don't even know. I'm not British, guys. No worries, Geldy. Thank you for being here. My apologies for the bad stream and the lobby issues. It's just EA is a little bit shit. And yeah, it is what it is. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I wish you guys a pleasant evening. And I'll see you guys next week. Peace out. Bye-bye.